What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, I shaved my beard and it's very shocking, and I understand. But listen, when you have a beard and you trim it yourself, sometimes you mess up. And if the mess up is as bad as it was for me, then you got to make a choice. And I chose to shave it all off and start fresh. So that's what we're doing. And you know what? You just have to deal with it. Okay, it's fine. It is what it is. But let's get into the meat of this episode, and that is Obi-wan Kenobi Part 5. Holy smokes, was that a good episode? I gotta say, that was everything that I wanted from this series. Had flashbacks, had Darth Vader being awesome, it had Obi-Wan overcoming his fears and anxiety and being the leader that he always was, and that he always is. I really appreciated this episode and thought it was very good. There were some minor gripes, but then again, I don't really care about those because they're outshined by how amazing this episode was. And you know what, a lot of the nitpicks that we had in previous videos and a lot of nitpicks that other Star Wars fans have about this series could all be outshined if they did similar stuff to what was in this episode throughout the series, instead of just kind of holding it off until this episode. But then again, we're not going to talk about the past, we're here to talk about this episode, and I'm going to highlight my 5 favorite moments, and then I'm going to give it an overall rating, and then we're going to just talk about how the other fans have felt about this. So my first favorite moment was Darth Vader just ripping that starship out of the sky. He tore it apart, and that was just incredible to see. I didn't think that we would see Darth Vader do something that insane in live action. But then again, that's something we asked for. That's something we wanted to see. And you know what? We got it, man. We got Darth Vader just throwing ships around and ripping it apart. Really powerful. A lot of amazing acting just from the way they brought Darth Vader to life in this episode. They did such a good job at his mannerisms, just how he moved around, and just the way that you can feel his emotion without even seeing his face, just at the fact that the second starship got away. And that's what I love. I love seeing Darth Vader just do Darth Vader stuff. My second favorite moment has to be the flashback between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Just seeing them train in the temple is something that I never thought I would see in this. I thought maybe we would get some Clone Wars flashbacks, but seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan in between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones was so cool. I absolutely loved that. It was everything I wanted it to be. Yes, the de-aging wasn't perfect, but also Hayden Christensen is a different person. He's more filled out than he was back when he was 18. He's not that young guy anymore. He's an adult, and if they were to de-age his face and he still had his, the shape of his body, he's a lot bigger, it probably wouldn't have looked as good. Then again, I don't know. I'm not a VFX creator. It didn't take me out of it like it did some other people, but, they're not the same people that they were. I'm just happy that I got a flashback of them pre-Attack of the Clones. That was incredible. And just to see Anakin's rage as he fought, not necessarily his rage, I should say, but more his will to fight and to win over just being patient and defensive, fighting for, other reasons. He was fighting to win in that scenario. And I like how they utilized that flashback against what was happening in this episode. It was really cool, the correlation between those moments that Darth Vader was having and Obi-Wan was having at the same time. They're both thinking back on this lesson, and ultimately it just proved to show that Darth Vader really hasn't learned his lesson. He is still, in fact, the apprentice. Third favorite moment was for sure the Darth Vader versus Rio fight. Like, how could you not love that? That was so cool, the way he used the Force to basically deflect all her strikes. He was just toying with her. It wasn't even like it was effortless for him. Basically, he didn't even have to take his own lightsaber out. That was so cool. And the way he used her lightsaber against her and then ultimately beat her, and then the way he took her lightsabers and held them dual wield. I didn't think I'd see Darth Vader dual wielding lightsabers. That looked so cool. And I'm sure a lot of people love that moment. Second favorite moment was Ned B and Tala sacrificing themselves. It was very powerful, very sad. It gave me a lot of Rogue One vibes, and it was just, I didn't expect them to die in this series. I thought maybe they would survive and continue rescuing people from the path, but then again, it was a very impactful death, and I did enjoy their characters. Finally, I really enjoyed seeing the siege between the refugees and the stormtroopers. Although some of the edits were weird and the use of the volume kind of took me out of it, at some moments I did really like seeing Obi-Wan defending people and fighting against stormtroopers and purge troopers. That was cool. I did enjoy that. A lot of awesome moments. Roken with his bowcaster, very cool. Again, Ned B and Tala fighting side by side with Obi-Wan. A lot of awesome moments in this episode. Overall, I would give this episode probably a 9.2 out of 10. I thought this was just by far the best episode that has came out of this series, and there's a lot of good to take away from this and to move forward with. So I hope that we can do that, because we just want more of this. And I understand there's a lot of people out there that have praised this show from the beginning and are kind of very much in the sense that the show has been exactly what it should be, but I hold to the different ideas, and I expected different quality from this, and I haven't gotten that up until this point. So I do appreciate this episode and understand everyone has different opinions and different takes, and that's totally fine, because we're all just Star Wars fans at the end of the day, and we all just ultimately enjoy this universe and can appreciate it for what it is. And that's what I love about Star Wars. So thank you all again for tuning in and listening to me ramble and talk about my favorite moments. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure to like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.